Good morning. Happy Saturday, everybody.
Yay.
I think for a couple of people it might be Sunday. Who knows?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Uh-huh.
They're
That's
think
almost
our
like
friends from New
making my
Zealand?
brain math. Don't do that.
I'm sorry. How dare I?
How dare you? How are you?
Is there an E? I'm
Not
doing
bad.
fine. How are you?
Susan has a good question.
Yeah,
Yes.
good.
Is there an easy way to find it? It's not listed on our Wednesday emails that come out.
And they don't put it on the homepage ever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
And
my mom
So if we
always
go
has
to
a hard time
YouTube-
finding it every morning too.
and they
She's
don't
like,
talk
"I
about
can't
it in
find it."
G2G ever. I feel kind of like the redheaded stepchild.
Did you notice I am a red? Did you notice I'm a redhead now?
I did. I noticed that just as I was saying it.
Really?
I did.
Okay.
I dyed my hair
I
literally
thought it
after
looked
the
brown.
live cast.
I should get my
last Saturday.
sunglasses on.
Yeah, a little bit
You think
red.
she's that bright?
Oh, okay. I guess I can see that. Tinges of red.
Who's here, Sarah?
It's not Lucille Ball red.
No, it's not. I wanted a muted red, like a
Muted
kind of
red?
Green Gables red.
like a natural
Is there
kind
a
of red.
muted?
Not
Is
too
there?
bright.
Is that such a thing? A muted red?
I don't know.
I think
Just-
once you're a
pretty muted.
redhead, everything is like, yeah.
that's true. So let's see who's here. So we have
Who's
Susan,
here, Sarah?
Janine.
Susan Anderson, the best way to find a link is to go to the YouTube channel, the WikiTree
Yeah.
YouTube channel.
And I think there's a little section for saying like upcoming streams. So probably there would be a good place. So we have Susie, Jennifer, June. Oh, did you see June posted this cute little elephant on her Facebook and tagged me in it? Because I love animals. A lovely reddish auburn.
That's
Thank
nice
you.
from June.
Well, look, Chris is here this time. And
Yeah.
Do you know what Chris was doing last week while we
I know
were
he
giving him such
answered.
a hard time?
He answered me. Yeah.
He was working in the garden with his dad. He had to help his dad with the garden.
That's a good
That's
son.
nice.
Good son.
We apologize
impressive.
for all the horrible things we said.
We were just teasing. We have John here. And let's see. Hillary. Lisa. Hold on, my thing just skipped. We have to go back. Lisa, Betsy, Marie Evans. I don't think I've seen Marie here before, but hello. My mom, hello. Brian.
Your mama's here.
I got everybody. My mom was like, it's still hard to find on YouTube.
Every now and then when I see they have a post about the question of the week, I'll post a link to the live cast there. But sometimes I don't get to it.
Marie says she's normally in bed. I don't blame you. It's midnight where she is. I'd be in bed too. Hi, Kathy.
Hey,
Kathy's-
Kathy.
It's early for Kathy.
She was at Circus World a few years ago. That's where the elephant came from. If you didn't know, elephants and cats and llamas are some of Sarah's favorite things.
Yes. I just like all the animals.
All the animals.
All the animals.
You know what?
So
Guess what?
What?
Chicken butt.
There's the chicken butt.
Guess what?
I'd never
chicken
heard
butt?
that till my children started saying that. And now I say it to them and they're like, Mom. Yeah, and they're in their late 20s and 30s. So, you know. Question of the week. Let me get myself set up.
What is it?
Share my screen.
Let's do it.
Oh, I gotta move us out of the way. There we go.
Oh, everybody was trying to do it the same year. Sorry, I was trying to help.
Oh, let's see. I've got some people wrote books. I appreciate the books, but
But you can't read out the whole book.
I can't read the whole thing. David McNichol wrote a really cool story of the true tale of the Wild West, And it was the homesteads of my 4 great-great-grandfather McNichol's sons, including my great-grandfather Daniel McNichol. Basically, what happened was there was a claim jumper who appeared in town to try and steal people's homesteading claims by claiming that the people hadn't done enough work to their property. That was a part of the rules, that you had to do stuff. And people got really angry, and they decided they were going to mob this guy, and went to arrest him, drew his pistol, backed up his horse, holding the crowd back with a gun. Someone took Sweetland's gun away from him. The maddened mob was in for hanging Sweetland then and there, using 2 wagon tongues fastened together. By his own account, James came forward and said, "No, there shall be no murder committed by me or my brothers." He pleaded with the men, and finally the mob left the sheriff to take the claim jumper to jail. So that's a true Wild West story there. So the brothers are his hero. Did I even mention what the question of the week was?
I was about to.
You did. You just jumped into the
I was
answers.
about to ask because I was like, did I miss
Father's
it?
Day theme.
Did I blink?
What's a favorite story you have of a paternal ancestor? Paternal. So kind of going with the Father's Day theme because it's Father's Day in the United States and Canada this weekend. Let's see. Moving right along. I like this one the best. This is a story about my grandfather, Louis Gullison. After the Second World War, he and his young family moved down to Florida, where he had a job as a bus driver. One day, a man asked to sit up front as his stop was the next one. My grandfather agreed, and things seemed to go okay. The next day, he was called into his boss's office and fired. The man that he had let sit up front was black, and a number of my grandfather's white passengers had called to complain. At the time, racial discrimination in Florida was quite prevalent, and he found it hard to get work after that and eventually had to go back home.
Oh,
isn't that sad? But good on you, Alexis. Aaron Gullison wrote that.
He's sometimes on, but he's not on today. Aaron, we've talked about you. You're not here.
We're talking about you when you watch this later. My grandfather, this is from Mark Weinheimer, was a captain on the Great Lakes. In 1892, his vessel, the Russia, collided with another one on a foggy night. He and the crew were able to bring off all of the crew of the other vessel, which sank, except for the cook, who ran below to get some things. Don't ever run back into a burning building or a sinking ship. He then ordered his vessel beached to keep it from sinking. Everyone got ashore. His swift reaction in ordering the transfer of the other vessel's crew and beaching his vessel saved many lives that night. That's a pretty cool story. And I think, yes, this one is from John Vasky. Great-grandfather Ted Seifert was quite a character. He had a small farm in southern Illinois, was a master barterer. Anybody out there have barterers in their family? Greg, I bet you're a barterer.
A barterer?
I bet you go to flea markets and you argue people down on the price of everything.
Oh, no. No, I'm really bad. Oh,
Sarah?
No.
No?
I'm a horrible salesperson.
Oh, yeah.
You don't upsell people.
I hate
when
conflict,
you have to?
so that's just too much like conflict to me. It's just
barter.
Yeah,
I want to
me
get
too.
along.
Yeah.
Oh, my granddaddy was a barterer. Oh, let's see. So he had he never had any money, so he used livestock, old equipment to trade and sell if the kids needed shoes or other essentials. And when I first read this, I thought it said he traded the kids, but he didn't. He didn't.
Good.
She said they never went hungry and they never wanted for anything. So Ted must have had it going on. So a barterer, that's pretty cool. Oh, there it is again. I had it all queued up. Let's see. This is an interesting story from a WikiTreeer, and this is a story about herself. I and several other children contracted polio in the 50s. The disease seemed to move through the country towns in New South Wales, and there was no treatment. And so they were put in an isolation, which was a first floor sleep out with louvered walls. Sounds fun. I have no idea what that really is, but I can kind of figure it out. My father would bring a ladder climb up and pass ice creams over into the children. We were delighted. And if the medical staff knew, they never said anything about it. Isn't that cute? That's a hero. Maybe that should be the best answer.
Yeah.
See. Oh, Cindy Fogel. Moments before the church doors opened to reveal a bride and her tuxedo-clad father to walk down the aisle, he said to me, "Are you sure you don't want to just shack up with this guy rather than marry him?" I don't know about you guys, but I've heard a lot of people say that their father or whoever was walking down the aisle asked them if they had any second thoughts, before that walk started. Julie, have any second thoughts? Do you know, Greg?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the interesting story about that is that on the day of, I couldn't find my tuxedo shirt. It somehow got lost between when it was ironed by my sister-in-law and the morning of the wedding. So she was interested in coming down the aisle to see what I was wearing, because as far as she knew, I was just going to be wearing a plain white shirt that I found in the closet. But luckily, friends from university scoured the town and found the only 2 tuxedo shirts for sale. And I did a quick change 15 minutes before the wedding.
Where did the tuxedo shirt go? Did you ever find out?
It has never been found. It's a mystery to me. Yeah.
Somebody was saying, no, Greg.
I know, maybe somebody secretly hid it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I really don't know. Anyways, it made for an exciting day.
I like the story down here from Judy Malden. My favorite story to tell about my father is every night he would shave before he went to bed. How nice. Shave before you go to bed so you don't go sandpaper your wife to death or partner. Just before he finished, I would fall down and pretend I was asleep. And every night he would pick her up and tuck her into bed, even though she really wasn't asleep. Isn't that sweet? I remember my dad running through the house with us on his shoulders, and he would literally stop dead so that we would fly onto the bed. Yeah, child abuse in the best way. Let's see. Oh, that's that story. Oh, okay. Here's a cool one from Beth Montano. My paternal great-grandfather, John G. Montano, was born in Italy. The family story goes that he was brought to the U.S. when he was around 9 years of age as part of a traveling children's orchestra. He played violin. The adult who arranged this trip took all of the money and returned to Italy, leaving the children to fend for themselves. He went to the nearest Catholic church and asked for help, but was denied. And she thinks possibly because he was Italian Catholic and not Irish Catholic. He ended up making his way to Cincinnati, Ohio, from wherever he was, where he was taken in by the Warren Witham family and ended up living with them and marrying their daughter, Frances. That is a crazy story.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Very crazy.
Wow.
Let's go on. I don't know what this is, Greg. Give me some help here. My dad had a small piece of paper he carried
I
around
understand.
in his billfold.
Okay, so the first one is I understand.
Oh.
You can't take it with you because it's not there. My undertakings, let's see. Over to you.
Overthrow.
Over to you. Overthrow, yeah.
Overthrow. So my dad had a small piece of paper he carried around in his billfold, pulling it out at any moment to challenge people to say what it meant. Since I can't attach the paper, I'll pull up the letters in the table, and that's from David Fay.
That is a very dad thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you figure out this riddle?
Yeah. Can you imagine standing in a line waiting for something, and he's like, everybody's bored, and they're kind of going, and he says, well, here, entertain ourselves here. And then Beulah Kramer says, I have managed to figure it out myself. Over and out for now.
I understand. You you overtake to overthrow my undertakings.
Really?
I think.
I'm impressed. That's great.
I think that's what it means. I understand. You
You're a
undertake to overthrow
mathematician.
my
I knew your brain would figure that out. Let's see. Oh, in 1970, this is from John Bales. My grandfather Bales was 91 years old and we're sitting on his front porch in Texas when the state vehicle pulled up and a young man got out carrying a clipboard. He explained that the state of Texas was building small ponds and lakes on the headwaters of creeks in an attempt to maintain the water table. They wanted to build a 25-acre lake, which would partly extend to his farmland, and he needed permission to do so. And the grandfather considered it a bit and replied, "I'll be glad to sign your permission form, but the lake will silt up in no time." And he's a 91-year-old man, and the guy says, "Oh, no. Our engineers calculate it'll take 75 years. And the grandfather says, "Yeah, like I said, it'll silt up in no time." Get it? For a 91-year-old, 75 years was like that. Let's see. Oh, and that was all of the questions that I was going to do. So I have all of the information queued up for our Are You Related?
That's how you know.
Yeah, I look at it while you guys are.
It's me.
Okay.
So that was the question of the week. So I got plenty of time for Greg to have his fun.
Okay.
And we're putting Sarah to sleep. Sarah. Sleep.
I offered to share with her some of my my coffee, but
I got my own.
Through the wires very well. She's got her own.
And she's in a WikiTree mug, the 10-year anniversary mug. Yes. I almost wore my 10-year anniversary shirt today just to be different.
I have the SourceAthon shirt on too. SourceAthon.
I've only got the one WikiTree shirt, so I just have to keep wearing it over and over again. But it does get washed.
Just so long as you don't lose it like your wedding shirt.
No. Well, it's a mystery, you know. Anyway, so the topic this week for profiles is science fiction authors. And I think that was kicked off because the WikiTree challenge of the week, which people are working on, is a science fiction writer herself, Lois McMaster-Bujold. And so WikiTreeers are furiously working away at her profile, adding connections and whatnot. And I took a look yesterday. I didn't actually take a look this morning, but they've already added a bunch. So they're doing a great job there. And so she's an American speculative fiction writer is another term that people have been using lately for science fiction writing. Won the Hugo Award, Best Novel 4 times. And her books there's sort of 2 series that she's popular for. So that's one of the things that's going on in WikiTree right now, and which has spawned this category. So Arthur C. Clarke, commander of the British Empire, FRAS. I forgot to look up what FRAS stands for, but it's in there. It's in there somewhere. But anyways, I also, when I went around grabbing, because I have books from all of these, or from many of these authors. So here's one. So that's Arthur C. Clarke, 3001. Of course, he's most famous for 2001: Space Odyssey, which was a book before it became the movie with the theme song, doom doom da dum, which is actually a piece of classical music called "Thus Spake Zarathustra." But I digress on that. But anyways, he's a well-known and respected science fiction writer from born in 1917 in Minehead, Somerset, England, United Kingdom. He passed away at age 90 in Sri Lanka, 19th of March, 2008, Colombo, Sri Lanka. I want to be remembered most as a writer. I want to entertain readers and hopefully stretch their imaginations as well. And as a longtime Arthur C. Clarke fan, not just because of his last name, but because of his writing, I would say he succeeded in that. It's interesting. One of your the stories of the week talked about the person from New South Wales who had polio. And did you know that Arthur C. Clarke also developed polio? He contracted polio in 1962 at the age of 45, which I thought was rather late to contract polio.
Now, FDR was a very late polio contractor as well.
Oh, he was late.
Yeah, he was very late
as well. Oh, I didn't know that. And I don't know if FDR had this, but Arthur C. Clarke was diagnosed with post-polio syndrome in 88. And from then, his health did decline. So in the end, he ended up needing a wheelchair for the remainder of his life. Oh, M&Ms. Nice.
I was trying to figure out how to put your hand up while you were doing
it. So, great man there. The next one, Douglas Adams. Now, I know I have Douglas Adams. I've read The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and all 5 books of the trilogy, which I know. It's called the Hitchhiker's Guide trilogy, even though there's now 5 books to it. Or is there a 6th one? As well as his other series, the Dirk Gently's Holistic Guide, detective stories. But I couldn't put my hand on his book right now, but I've got those. He was born 11th of March, 1952 in Cambridge, in England. And he passed away on the 11th of May, 2001, at age 49 in Montecito, California. He was only 49 years old. Died of a heart attack. But he began writing while he was still at school, published in the school magazine, and went up to St. John's College. When he was at university, he was part of, he went to a comedy club, and there he was discovered by Graham Chapman, who you may recognize as one of the founders of the Monty Python troupe. And he actually co-wrote a couple episodes or a couple skits on the Monty Python series, one of only 2 people who were non-Monty Python people to get a writing credit. So that's pretty impressive. His career progressed. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Chris is saying that he wrote, he was a writer on Doctor Who.
Yes, that's, because after Monty Python, then he went to the BBC and became a writer for Doctor Who, and a script editor. Shada, I think, which is Chris is referring to, is one of the episodes that he wrote that never did get officially aired, though there have been different versions of it in different media, but none of them have been officially added, on
Why
film.
not?
I don't. Well, actually, the episode of Shada was scheduled to be part of the season that got canceled. Let me think. What? I think it was the year that there was a BBC strike, and so I think it was the 6th Doctor at the time. That one season got cut off because of the strike, and then the next Doctor basically came along, and then the show was canceled. So I think it was in the strike year that the Shada would have been scheduled. So that's why. And there was a few other scripts, I think, but Shada is the one that's been farmed out, or the one that's surfaced as having a lot of potential. So there are different book versions of that people have rewritten as well. So, and I have a copy of that too upstairs. It was a gift from one of my sons, which I haven't actually read yet, so I'll have to do that. But Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is one of the things he's probably most famous for. And after his death, fans created a towel day to celebrate that, because, as he wrote in the book, a towel is the most useful thing a space traveler can have. Anyways, I will move on to another influence. Robert A. Heinlein, or Robert Anson Heinlein, as he's born, actually was the very first science fiction writer that I read when I was, I think I was introduced to him when I was in grade 6 by my grade 5, by my grade 5 teacher. And so he read the very first book, we were talking about this before we went live, that I read of his was called Farmer in the Sky, which basically talked about a family that moved to one of the moons of Jupiter and was farming there in space. But and growing up on a farm, that seemed interesting, and that got me hooked. But he's one of the really nice ones he did is Time Enough for Love. And what I really liked, he's got this huge thick book here. It's called The Pass Through Tomorrow. Actually, it's a collection of a whole pile of you see really tiny print, a bunch of his short stories and novellas. And let me see if I can show you here. Where is it? Oh, anyways, they all of them are interconnected with this one big giant universe. Anyways, that really got me hooked early on. And I'm still a fan today.
Then I have the Starship Troopers one that was made into a movie.
That's another good one.
But the movie's nothing like the book, so I'm just gonna tell you that.
No, they like to vary things up. Anyways, he was born in 1907. I can't believe that I was reading in the 70s something by someone who had started writing so much earlier, but it was classic. Passed away the 8th of May on 1988, and he was known as the first grandmaster of science fiction. Highly recommend checking out his stuff. Oh, there's a picture and a number of those books I've got, but I didn't want to show them all to you. But that's not my shelf, but my shelf looks very much like that. Frank Herbert, who wrote the Dune series. So here's the latest Dune book that I've got, House Atreides. But I've got read a bunch of the rest of his. He was born in 1920 in Tacoma, Washington. Passed away in 1986, only at age 65. Again, these people dying way too young, in Madison, Wisconsin. Best known for his Dune and its 5 sequels. Then became science fiction. He became famous for science fiction, but he was also a newspaper journalist, a photographer, short story writer, book reviewer, ecological consultant, and lecturer, and which isn't surprising considering the ecology is such an important aspect of the original Dune book. And the other thing interesting about the Dune series is that after he did pass away, one of his sons, Brian Herbert, carried on the tradition and has expanded the genre.
I just saw the new movie, the remake of the movie they did recently.
Yes, did you see that?
Mm-hmm. It was pretty good.
You know, you and Sarah are both closest to Robert Heinlein. Not. Yes. I was thinking it might be Herbert, but it wasn't.
Yeah, no, Heinlein, which is good because he was my first. We're also related, like 22nd cousins, 5 times removed. So I don't know. The chance of actually any actual DNA after that distant is probably fairly slim. But on paper, we're related. We're distant cousins, like really distant. Ursula Le Guin, born in 1929 in Berkeley, California, and died 22nd of January 2018 at age 88 in Portland, Oregon. Born in Berkeley, California in 1929 to the noted anthropologists Alfred L. Huber and Theodora Krakow. She was an accomplished writer of novels and short stories, and perhaps best known for The Left Hand of Darkness, for which she was awarded the Hugo and the Nebula Awards, and the Earthsea series. Earthsea, now I think I've seen that, unless I have read that one. I'll have to go back and check. Clive Staples Lewis, or the name that he goes by as an author is C.S. Lewis, though he didn't go by C.S. in life. He always asked his friends and family to call him Jack. Anyways, he was born in Belfast, 1898, 29th of November, 1899 in Belfast, Ireland, and lived to the age of 64, dying on the 22nd of November. He was born, his father was a lawyer, his mother was a mathematician. So that's kind of cool. He had a brother named Warren Hamilton Lewis. So this is an interesting but kind of sad story. When C.S. Lewis was 4 years old, his beloved dog, Jaxie, died as a result of being hit by a car. Moved by the death, Lewis made it known to his family that he would henceforth only answer to the name Jaxie. But later, he did allow them to shorten his name to Jack. And so he would be known as Jack to his friends and family for the rest of his life. Oh. So isn't that interesting? Yeah. He and his brother were very close companions and spent many days playing together, creating a private and magical world, which led, I'm sure, to the creation of the Chronicles of Narnia, which he's most famous for. Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, all of those. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. A bunch of that. So next we have Harry Edmund Martinson, born 6th of May 1904 in Jamshok, Blekinge, Sweden, son of Martin Olofsson and Bengta Svensdotter Svensson. And he died on the 11th of February 1978 at the age of 73. His parents were Betty and Martin Olofsson. He lost them both early, his father to pulmonary tuberculosis in 1910, and his mother emigrated to the United States the following year. And he was fostered out at the age of 6 to the lowest bidder. That's so nice. Since he often ran away, he grew up in several different families. Was a member of the Swedish Academy, and his epic science fiction poem Aniara presents the tragedy of a lost spaceship carrying escapees from the ruin of Earth. He received the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1974, together with Eyvind Johnson, the last time it was shared between two prize winners. The award was appreciated by the reading public, but was harshly criticized from several quarters in the Swedish press, mainly because the Swedish Academy had appointed 2 of its own members as prize winners. The increasingly hardening criticism led to Harry Martinson falling ill with a clinical depression, taking his life in Karolinska Hospital. In 1978, how he died was publicly described for the first time in colleagues' memoirs. He's buried in the burial ground in the parish. And then I'm not going to read the Swedish version of the biography, assuming it says the same thing. So that was a sad ending. Next, we have Anne McCaffrey, who is famous for her Dragon Books of Pern. And here is one of the very first ones of hers that I read. And you can tell from this book, and look at the cut, like it has been well used. And I think this was, again, from grade 5 or 6 or something like that. I read that. She has a huge series of Dragon Books. Dragon Singers was another series that she wrote. Daughter of George Herbert McCaffrey and Dorothy McElroy, born the 1st of April, 1926 in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and mother of Todd McCaffrey. And she died on the 21st of November, 2011 in County Wicklow, Ireland. She was an American-Irish writer known for the Dragon Riders of Pern, and the first woman to win a Hugo Award for fiction, and the first to win a Nebula Award, the first woman to win a Nebula Award. She was inducted by the Science Fiction Hall of Fame on the 17th of June, 2006, and also received the Robert E. Heinlein Award for her work in 2007. She died at her home in Dragonhold Underhill in County Wicklow. So she moved back to Ireland and actually lived in a castle in County Wicklow, 21st of November, 2011. There we go. The 21st of November reminds me, because I mentioned one of the interesting pieces of C.S. Lewis was that his date of his death was the 22nd of November, 1963, which some of you may recall is another big day in history, because that was the same day that JFK was shot. In fact, they figured out that C.S. Lewis died, I think it was 55 minutes before the assassination of JFK. And it's also the same day that Aldous Huxley, another famous writer, passed away. So between the three of them on the day, C.S. Lewis and Huxley didn't get as much media coverage because surprisingly. But interestingly, it inspired a book.
Wasn't crying on air because of them.
No, I'm sure he was not. No. Yeah. But interestingly, there was a book written about that, Between Heaven and Hell, a dialogue somewhere beyond death with John F. Kennedy, C.S. Lewis, Aldous Huxley.
That's fun.
That would be kind of cool to check out.
Yeah, I think you and I and Sarah need to run to our local libraries.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sarah would be the fastest with her new red hair. Mary Wollstonecraft Godwin was born on the 30th of August, 1797,
to William Godwin and Mary Wollstonecraft. But she's more popularly known as Mary Shelley. She eventually married Percy Shelley, the poet. And her claim to fame is, of course, that she wrote the Gothic novel Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. So she was born in 1797, a long time ago. The only daughter of William and the second daughter of Mary Wollstonecraft. Let's see, her childhood was unconventional. After her mother's death, her father took over the care of of Mary and her half sister, and then William married again. The household contained 5 siblings, all partially related to each other in some way by marriage or birth. Now, that would be an interesting family tree to draw. So she met the poet Percy Shelley and his wife in late 1812. They carried on an affair. She became pregnant with her first child and then eventually married Percy. Anyways, and she went on to write Frankenstein, and is popular for that, but has also written other books as well that are maybe not as popular, or did not turn into movies as much as Frankenstein did.
The best of which, of course, is Young Frankenstein.
Young Frankenstein. Yes, that's great. Theodore Hamilton, Waldo Sturgeon. He was born on the 26th of February, 1918 in Staten Island. Passed away the 8th of May, 1985 at age 67. And they've got his death notice here as picture, part of his profile. That's interesting. Popular, award-winning American writer, primarily of fantasy, science fiction, and horror. His science fiction novel, More Than Human, in 1953, won the 54 International Fantasy Award for Sci-Fi and Fantasy as the year's best novel. He was a distant relative of Ralph Waldo Emerson, and through his Waldo, Hamilton Dicker, and Dunn ancestors, a direct descendant of numerous influential Puritan, Presbyterian, and Anglican clergymen. At the age of 8, his mother divorced Waldo and remarried. But he was legally adopted by his stepfather and as a son of William D. Sturgeon and Christine H. Sturgeon. And his name, therefore, became legally changed to Edward H. Sturgeon. He sold his first, at age 20, he sold his first story in 1938 to the McClure Syndicate, and he wrote numerous novels and short stories during his career. And it goes on, talks about his life. He won, again, like some of the others, he won both the Hugo and the Nebula Awards. For him, the 71 and 1970 novella, Slow Sculpture. And he was inducted into the Science Fiction and Fantasy Hall of Fame. And the last one is Jules Verne. Jules Gabriel Verne, born in Nantes, Loire-Atlantique, France, on the 8th of February, 1828, son of Pierre Verne and Sophie Henriette Allot de la Fouille. Passed away the 24th of March, 1905 at age 77 in Amiens, France. A French novelist, poet, and playwright, best known for his adventure novels and sometimes referred to as the father of science fiction. Most popular novels, Journey to the Center of the Earth, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Around the World. That's the first one you read?
Yep.
Nice. I've read some of his stuff here. I can't put a finger on where his books are, but they're here somewhere. The first submarine that Simon's company, the Lake Torpedo boat, was built for the U.S. Navy was the USS Seal, inspired by Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So very cool. And then there's a much more in-depth Wikipedia article as well. So there we have it. Lots of cool stuff. And I can go on and on with book reviews, but I won't, so I'll stop.
So many
Over
sci-fi.
to you.
Well, thank you. I don't know if anybody people were saying their connections. Did anybody have a favorite sci-fi author that they had out of the bunch that we talked about or that Greg talked about? I only knew a few of them.
I really liked the Dune series a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but I loved Frankenstein. I loved 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. I loved all of them.
I wasn't sure, did Mary Shelley, did she have a pen name when she wrote it, or she just wrote it under Mary Shelley? I don't remember.
I don't remember that either.
I think she just used Mary Shelley. I could be wrong, but I thought she did. Now, she may have banked on the popularity, like her husband being the famous poet, Percy Shelley. So
okay.
I'm just
guessing. I did a quick search. I didn't find anything, but I was curious because of being so.
But you're right. A lot of women writers back then did use pen names to get published because of the prejudice of the time.
Yeah, that's why I was curious.
The one thing, I mean, Heinlein was my first. Heinlein and McCaffrey were my first. Heinlein was really my first hard sci-fi, and McCaffrey was my first fantasy.
Hard sci-fi. It's like you're talking drugs here.
I know. I know.
Heinlein was
what I liked about
really
Heinlein.
Hardcore.
Yeah, that's right. There was lots of stuff. I think one of his best books was called Citizen of the World. And it starts out, the protagonist is basically an orphan on the streets of India.
I've read that, I think.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But it's not, I mean, and maybe partly because of when my teacher introduced it, knowing that there was no, sex and violence and stuff like that. There was intrigue. There were difficult situations, but it was, it's something kids could read, and it wouldn't affect them horribly.
Susan Anderson is saying that she wrote as Bram Stoker.
No, Bram Stoker.
Our team of experts are going to Google it now.
I don't think so. No, Bram Stoker, who wrote Dracula, is a totally different person.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But good try, Susan. Good try.
I think so. Yeah.
It gave us a reason to use our Google brain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It just reminds me of
that's it. Is that
the one Dracula movie?
I say Citizen of the World, Citizen of the Galaxy. Yes, Aaron.
Reminds me of the one Dracula movie with Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, and what was the other guy? Oh,
would Gene Roddenberry count as a sci-fi writer? Of course. I don't know why he didn't get included.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm trying to remember. Keanu Reeves. I was like, it's funny because you see Keanu Reeves, and I don't know if I don't know. You just never think of Keanu Reeves and Dracula, but it is. George Lucas, yeah. George Lucas, too. Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess on to photos. You would think the theme of the week would be fathers, but it is not.
Oh.
It is not. It is love. Though I might go on a tangent. I might go searching for some father photos.
Or love of fathers?
Yes.
Love of fathers. Let's see if any of the photos are of fathers. But we'll see. There's only 5 photos, so we can go look for father photos.
Well, there was that was a theme a few weeks ago when we missed, didn't it? Wasn't it?
Was it?
I don't remember.
I think so. I thought we looked through the list, and one of the weeks that we missed, the theme was fathers. So we could go back and look at those photos.
Yes.
One of the weeks we missed, like we miss a lot of weeks here, Craig. We don't miss a lot of weeks.
Okay, I miss a lot of weeks.
It was probably for one of the thons.
Yeah.
I like this one. This one's a cute one. It's a sisterly love.
That's nice.
That's cute.
That is very sweet.
Look, it's them holding. That's kind of cute. And Kathleen sharing. I wish it was the other way. Oh, look, she looks like Pippi Longstocking.
Oh, cool.
We're all going.
Who also had red hair, right?
She did.
That's funny.
I guess
Guys, if you want to see us do calisthenics, post your picture sideways.
That's right. Yeah.
I have one I'm going to zip in real quick.
Okay.
How cute is that father?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Oh,
Isn't that adorable?
That
It
is
is.
adorable.
Look at his little
That is
socks and shoes,
Oh.
too.
Yeah.
That's my dad. Okay.
let's see.
I'll stop.
I'm looking for father photos. Father photos. There is a. Hold on.
Was I just making it up?
Were you making it up? You probably were.
I don't think
You
I
have that-
was.
Hold on.
You had that kind of a mind, you know. Yeah,
There's a-
there you go. Sarah did it perfectly. This is Greg's mind.
Hold on. I'm trying to remember a good way to search There's a way to search photos. Hold on. Let me. Back to the. Oh, I was looking up. I'm actually 14th cousin, sometimes removed from Robert Heinlein. So.
All right, there you go.
So we're going to. For anybody who wants to know, you can come all the way down here, and we can search images. I'm gonna go father.
How dare you teach us something?
How dare I? So we're gonna look at some of these father. I already see some cute ones, so this is gonna go well.
Oh, yes.
Looks like a father and his son. The next one's cute because they're also on a horse.
No.
Look at that! Look, he's dressed as Father Christmas. Look at that. It's a great father photo.
1, 2, 3, 4 small children.
It looks like a grandma and a mom.
Father's was week 30 from Tommy Buck. Sorry.
Let's see. There's this one. Father. Now this will only search for images that have father in the name. So if they like added it to something else. Robert and his father.
Oh, wow.
Wait a sec. Oh, wait a second. I don't know what's going on here. He seems very tall.
That is very, very tall.
That's all some kind of tall.
May 30th, week 22.
It's let's see. Oh, they're playing ball together. Do we have the link for the photos of the week one for father that we can look at? Maybe not. Oh, here's another one. Full family.
There's got to be an easier way to find these.
I know. So, okay, so let's go.
Oh, wait. Never mind.
This is how I usually do it. I'll click here. And this is the 52 photo weeks for mothers. So if we it was supposed to be May 30th, you said? There we go.
22.
I found
there we
it.
Go.
You are just ahead of me. Thank you.
Let's look at some of these fathers. We get some bonus father pictures with my search, though. Oh, and there's a dog.
Nice.
Oh, this is Janine's. I guess Janine's. That's your dad. That's Janine. I'm assuming.
Yep.
Cool.
And her dog. Guy and Delamay with their nine youngest children.
9 youngest.
Wow.
Yes.
1, 2, 3.
And we're
4,
the 9
5,
older
6,
ones.
7, 8, 9.
Oh, it's like good. I like that photo.
That's Ronnie
And the
Murphy
guitar.
at the
Bean Blossom Bluegrass
Bluegrass
Festival.
Festival.
Say
That's
it 3
great.
times fast.
Bean Blossom Bluegrass Festival. Bean Blossom Bluegrass Festival. Bean Blossom Bluegrass Festival.
4 generations of gentry firstborn.
How cute.
Oh.
Nice.
They all look alike.
They do.
Yes,
Wow,
I
those
think
genes
it's
are
the nose.
strong.
I think it's the nose. Oh. The baby was moving too much for the photo, so she's blurry.
One of my cousins has a son who's the spitting image of my grandfather, which just thrills me every time I see a picture of him.
Oh, that's neat.
Isn't it? That's cute.
Mm-hmm. I do like that one. Oh, Jack Murray with his daughters. How cute. Lloyd Wright and his 1924 Chevrolet Coupe.
Lloyd Wright.
Is it Frank Lloyd Wright?
Bless you.
Thank you. I couldn't mute myself in time. Still on the wrong page. Wayne gets a visit from his father.
Aww.
He was wearing like
Home from Canada.
Yay!
He's wearing some kind of pilot, maybe some kind of uniform.
He's a sergeant.
RAF, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Photo of my grandfather Walter, who fought in World War I with his brother.
Nice.
Kelly, Harold, and Merle.
Merle.
I just wanted to
say
keep
that
going.
4 times really fast. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Harold,
really.
Harold, Merle. Kelly, Harold, Merle. That was it for fathers. So we saw
Very cool.
2 bunches of photos today. We saw so many photos today. Love photos.
And
That's
we
excellent.
saw Fletcher Earl today too.
Yes.
My daddy.
Oh, nice. Now, you know what we missed last week when we were asking, what if there was anything that had come up. There was a video which is on YouTube now from WikiTree about one name studies that had been done on the Wednesday. Azure was part of that, I believe, and
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and Eowyn and Julie. And I think Azure put it in the chat just as we were clicking the sign off button.
Oh.
So we just missed from mentioning it. So I apologize, Azure, for having not mentioned it last week.
But now you're talking about it, but you don't have the link. Do we have is it on the homepage, maybe? Member of the week, Queen Elizabeth. Marion.
And I think there's something scheduled for this coming Wednesday, is there not?
Let's check the G2G feed real quick.
Anybody has any questions with this time?
Coming Wednesday,
and the ConnectAthon is coming up.
Oh yeah, John was saying that.
Yes, sign up for that.
It's coming up the weekend of the 15th through the 18th. I have signed up. What are you doing?
We're connecting.
When is it? When was it? Say the dates again for the ConnectAthon.
July the 15th through Monday the 18th.
Okay.
I will be here. I'm supposed to be leaving for the cottage on the 18th. However, if I go to the cottage, I have to camp away from where the cottage is because they're rebuilding the cottage. and the cottage will not be ready in time for me to be at the cottage. So I could go and camp on the property, but not be over where they're building. So I have to decide.
Can you take cottage time later, or is it?
What's that?
Can you delay your holiday till the cottage is ready?
Yeah, I probably will go once the cottage is ready. Yes, but my holiday block time for my time off is already. So if anybody has a lake they need to have watched for 2 weeks by myself, let me know. I'll come and watch your lake for you. I'll make sure you're not doing anything wrong.
You can just come sit on my lake, Mags. If you want.
Can I feed the alligators though?
Of course you can.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay,
I'm
so
not
coming up this
from
week,
feeding it.
Finnegan wants me to come see you.
Yeah, that's right. At 12 noon on Wednesday this week, WikiTree Leadership and Projects is the theme for a live cast.
Oh, good.
And that.
The week of the following weekend after the ConnectAthon, I'm going to be on a beach vacation.
Ooh, very fun.
That's all.
And I'm supposed to be at the cottage, so Greg.
Uh-oh. I'm alone? Oh no.
You can bring someone on, or you can have a.
Guess what? I'm going to Miami for my holiday.
Oh, nice.
Well, that week we're going to be in Daytona Beach. So
do you see that?
Daytona.
Your mom is inviting me down.
Yeah.
I can watch your ocean for you.
Yes.
Watch your ocean. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, I guess now we're going off a little bit. Do we have any genealogy?
You never do that.
Yeah, never.
Never, ever.
We have 3 more minutes, people. Oh, Lake June Stearns is saying Lake
Sebec
in Maine is some great places to sit and relax. I have to go and watch water.
Just fill up your bathtub and you can.
I have a fountain on the back patio, and my son says,
"There you go.
This is all you need. This right here is all you need." Like it's not the same.
Oh, I know.
It's not the same.
No.
Oh, Lisa's going to have brunch. I need to have something to eat too. I haven't eaten anything. Sometimes I'll eat before the live cast, or I'll eat after. It depends on what time I wake up.
Can we talk about who the connection person is for next week?
Wasn't it?
What's that?
Wasn't the sci-fi person?
Archie Griffin.
Oh.
Archie, register now to join us on researching Archie Griffin.
Ooh.
And then Lois McMaster Bugeaud is the person.
That's the one coming. That's
12.
happening right now.
Yeah, that's what's happening right now. Well, aren't you special, Lisa?
Strawberry scones.
If they were blueberry, I'd get excited.
Mags might be coming to your house for brunch if they were blueberry scones.
Yeah, I'd be Lisa Gervais. Either you're Huguenot and you live in the South, or you're up here somewhere.
She was on Team Canada, so she's up here somewhere, I think.
She's up here somewhere.
Yes.
June Botka, you're driving me
for
crazy.
Lunch. June. Good.
June knows how to get us with the elephant and blueberry pie.
Yep. What did you do? Did you get?
She's in Ottawa.
I thought she was. I was going to say Ottawa, but I didn't want to jinx it.
Lisa, you have to invite Mags to brunch now.
Where are you, Lisa? I'm hanging up now. I'm on my way. Yeah, the blueberries up here aren't quite ripe yet.
No.
All right, so I'm ready to go. Here we go.
Are we?
Mags is gonna go get some scones.
I'm gonna go find Lisa.
You're gonna find